Okay. All right, thank you everyone for showing up today. My name is Robert Miranda. I'm a member of the steering committee of the frontline group, Get the Lead Out Coalition. The coalition is comprised of a number of community grassroots organizations coming together addressing this matter regarding lead water, removing of lead pipes. Today we're here because we are asking the city and the mayor to increase the number of lead laterals they're proposing now from 1,500 to 3,300, and we believe that that number is still too low, and to remove these pipes in another 20 years continues to condemn our children and another generation to a life of drinking toxic, tainted lead water in Milwaukee. We believe that the 1,500 was absurd, the 3,300 was not much of an improvement, but we believe that what we see around the country, especially what we see in Detroit, Michigan, what we've seen in Newark, New Jersey, what we're seeing in Denver, what we're seeing in Jackson, Mississippi, and other cities around the country, everyone seems to be moving faster and with much more urgency on removing these pipes. Detroit, which has not had a really good history of its finances, is moving 5,000 pipes this year and has said that they will be moving 10,000 pipes in 2024. I can't believe Milwaukee is not able to meet that. There's no way Detroit is better than Milwaukee. I know that for sure. I've been to Detroit, and I've seen what's going on in Detroit with their politics. And we have to be much better than that. And with Milwaukee coming out with this 3,300, and in 20 years, our organization has decided to make a statement, and that statement is, we are not accepting this. It's unacceptable. We need to remove these pipes in 10 years or fewer years than 10. We cannot condemn more generations of Milwaukee children to having their IQs damaged by this toxin that is flowing through the water. The city needs to engage in a more aggressive and more urgent manner to remove these pipes. If it's a matter of money, Jackson, Mississippi, Detroit, others are not only using the ARP monies, but they've also been able to take advantage of the Infrastructure Act passed in 2021, where they're able to get money from the EPA. Has the city of Milwaukee applied for those monies? There are monies that are still out there that the city can go after. There are programs that the city, if they need assistance, can help them, like the Accelerator program. The Accelerator program can open doors for the city to get more money to meet that goal. And let's not forget, the city has revenues it's bringing in itself. The U.S.A contract is about to go into effect. They were about 90% done with their project. They're now almost complete. That's another $3+ million annually coming in. And once again, we're asking the question. The Milwaukee Water Works pilot, they give the city of Milwaukee annually about $13.5 million in lieu of taxes. They give that money to the city. How is that money being spent? Where is that money going? We, the Get the Lead Out Coalition, are not satisfied with what the city is saying in regards to the removal of these pipes. We want these lead laterals removed in a more urgent and quicker manner, and 20 years is too long, and 3,300 is pathetically not enough. Are there any questions?
Are you in conversation with the mayor or members of the council, and what about the state at the state level?
There are, actually, we are in conversations, and we have had conversations with the Department of Natural Resources Secretary Payne and his Deputy Secretary Little in regards to changing state policy related to flushing. And we have been in discussion with them, and we just had a discussion with the new Secretary of Department of Health, Secretary Johnson, in regards to the same issue, and we are following up with them in meetings to discuss this whole thing about flushing, because we feel that the city is putting out the wrong message when it comes to flushing. And they agree with us. They agree, and that's why we're meeting with them again. We are also engaged in discussion with the Office of Common Council President, Jose Perez. And just today, I received a tweet, or not a tweet, but email from his office giving me a number of dates where we can meet again to discuss with the Department Superintendent of Water, Patrick Pauly, with the Deputy Environmental Health Director, Tyler Weber, and other administration personnel to discuss this matter. Once again, to go over what it is we can do to help the city and work with the city to move urgently on this matter. One of the things that our coalition is pushing is an oversight committee of the community. We want to establish something like that where we as community can oversee and work with the city to make these pipes, remove these dangerous toxic pipes from our environment. So yes, we are in discussions with state and city officials.
I had a question. There seems to be a bit of discrepancy already between the Mayor Johnson's office and what Milwaukee Water Works says they can even do. What do you say to that?
That's not surprising. We've seen this theater before. There's always been a kind of disconnection between agencies within City Hall and the mayor's office. So right now, it's a game of CYA, basically. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what anybody's doing. Well, the community knows what you're doing. And you're poisoning us. And you're harming our children. And we're saying to City Hall, get your act together, get whatever miscommunications you got going on among yourselves straightened out, or face the voice of the people. And the voice of the people is already starting to be organized by Get the Lead Out Coalition. We've already started and organized our first assembly. We're going to do July 8th. We're going to get people to come, and we're going to be doing that all summer, all around the city. And we're going to replicate what we did 8 years ago when we had town halls all over the city to inform the community how this lead pipe is destroying our children. And by the time we're done this summer, we will be back with numbers. I guarantee you that.
H. Nelson Goodson from the Hispanic Network. I want to ask you, I've noticed that you continue to say that the city works lies, the city lies. Can you explain some more about how they're lying about it? About information released?
The best example is the flushing. It's a play on words that the city likes to do with the flushing issue. They tell you that an independent laboratory has affirmed and confirms that their idea of protecting your family, if you don't use filters, is to flush. When the reality is, peer-reviewed science shows that flushing is unreliable. And flushing, what the city says, is to reduce exposure. Again, a play on words. Reducing is not preventing. There's two distinctions here between having a glass of water with 15 parts per billion of lead in it and having a glass of water with 2 parts per billion of lead in it. We want a glass of water with 0 lead. That's what we want. And the science is there. Lead at any level is not acceptable. We want our government to get to that point. 0 is where we want it. Any other questions?
More information about the assembly that's planned to send. Do you have details yet?
Yes, and I left the flyers. I left the flyers in the car. But the assembly, the first assembly, is going to be at Washington Park.
At Washington Park Library.
Washington Park Library on July the 8th from the time again is 1 to 3 p.m. And we will be there to have 3 panelists in our community, people of our community, presenting on their expertise and their work on this issue. And then we're going to hold groups, and we're going to be recruiting and organizing, and we're going to be empowering the community with organizers throughout the city so that we can have one voice coming out on this, demanding 0 tolerance for any plan that the city puts out that does not have the community support. Joshua, you have a question?
Yeah, question. What do we say, towards the city's, formula of having, even historically, the city mandated the lead pipes, right? So we have this current formulation where they're making property owners pay for half or what they call the private side. What do we say on that?
That's part of the discussions that we're having with the city, with Common Council President Perez. We believe and we feel that the laterals that connect from the main to the inside of the building, that should not be a cost associated to single-family homes nor to renters. However, the plan that you speak of that they're doing to try to do that, we're saying, why don't we switch that around and work with family or homeowners to see what we could do to get rid of the premises plumbing. Now, that idea that they're doing, I see can work with the premises plumbing removal, because it's not only the lead laterals we have to deal with, but there are some homes that have lead in their basement that is pumping water through those lead pipes into the taps of their home. So there's got to be some kind of formula worked out where the city can work with the homeowner and work with them to find the necessary financial support they need in order to remove those premises lead pipes.
Is this group going to start any kind of campaign in the near future or whenever to say something like, don't drink Milwaukee water, it has lead until it's clean, 0 tolerance, or something like that?
We want people to understand this is not an attack on the water situation as a whole in Milwaukee. We agree that we have some of the best water that is flowing through our water plants into the lines. What we are concerned about is that nice, fresh, clean water that the city is always touting, when it runs through the pipes, the lead pipes, the laterals, that's when that water is poisoned. So we have to get the city to acknowledge and to tell the community and the home, if your home has lead laterals, lead pipes, take these precautions immediately to prevent damage done to your children. And that damage that we promote firsthand is filters. NSF 53 type filters that work to remove the leads from our taps with lead homes. But you gotta remember, they have a current plan that says we are looking at the immediate need. Well, the immediate need is all lead homes, all lead pipes. There's no difference between what home is more immediate than another. Lead pipe is a lead pipe. Now, if you're looking for more immediate need, then target the homes that have both lead paint and lead pipes. Because our children are getting poisoned with a double whammy. And that has to be addressed. And there are 66,000 homes in Milwaukee that have both issues. And so if you want to deal with something immediately, deal with those. And then once we start dealing with those, I guarantee you, we will see the lead poisoning numbers start coming down. Right now, we are at what, 6-point-something%? The highest in the state for black children? That's ridiculous. That's a 5-alarm fire that it should be sounded by the city. And the community leaders and the community as a whole needs to come together and say, enough is enough. Time to invest heavily on removing this toxin from our environment immediately.
Should the public be notified by the city to where these homes are located at? Because anybody can drive in any neighborhood and see the homes, but there's no signs saying that these homes are connected with lead laterals to the city's water supplies. Should the city be able to identify them, especially when people are selling those homes, that people that are interested in buying those homes, they should be able to know that those homes are connected to lead laterals to decide if they're going to want to buy a home that has that kind of water coming through the pipes or not?
There are laws in effect that do alert the buyer beware kind of thing. We will make clarification on that discussion when we meet with the Common Council President again. Any other questions? Well, I appreciate you all taking the time to come and see us today. Thank you all for joining us. July 8th, you're more than welcome to join us again. You'll see the start of a new movement in this city on this issue, and it's going to be fun.